Good morning, everyone. This is James, the Ghost Set Killer with Put 'em on the Glass podcast. And we have the Auto Glass Safety Council with us. We have El Presidente, Jacques Navant. We have Vice Presidente, Peter Brown, and we have Deb Levy with us. Deb will be here as a little bit of a moderator. She will be here if we have any of those important questions that we just need answers that Peter and Jacques just don't have the answers to.
Basically, to keep us out of trouble.
Exactly.
I don't know about that. I don't know if we can actually keep you boys out of trouble. You know, you're going to be what you're going to be. Just
yeah.
So with the holidays kind of behind us now, we're going into 2025. I know that I've heard rumblings that this is going to be a huge year for the Auto Glass Safety Council. I love seeing the movement. I love seeing the forward progress that this organization is taking. You know, for me, being part of the organization on a couple different levels with the boards, not the boards, excuse me, with the committees, this really means a lot to me. So for whoever wants to answer first, what are the big dates in 2025 we can look forward to? Okay, Jacques, go ahead. What are the big dates?
Well, we have our winter meeting coming up where we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to have on-site certifications and training for the technician side as well as the repair side. Deb, what were the names we came up with for our two educational seminars?
Yeah, one of them is future-proofing your business, and the other one is out-of-the-box places to find new employees that work.
Which is hands down one of the biggest challenges for our industry right now, especially on the CSR level.
Yeah, well, CSR and technician level. I know there's a lot of people struggling to recruit talent, period. What dates are those, and what hotels or kind of the area we're going to be in so people can start planning this now because they've got about a month?
The actual date of the training, we have all of the AGSC committees and boards, board of directors meetings, etc., on the 3rd and 4th of February. And then on the 5th in the morning, you can come and take the training course from Jeff Olive that will enable you to then take the replacement certification, the AGSC replacement certification test. And in the afternoon, same deal with the repair. And those are all free to AGSC members, and they're also free to anybody who registers in advance. So if you're a non-member and you want to check it out, bring your guys, because you could have a lot of guys. There's no cost as long as you register in advance. And then toward the end of the day, I think it's 4:30 to 6, are the two sessions. The one with, you know, Jacques is our president talking about future proofing, and then the one on the employees out of the box. Those are more geared to managers and owners, and the daytime is geared toward people who to actually perform repairs and replacements.
How would a company register their technicians if they're not part of the Auto Glass Safety Council already?
AGSC.org, and I'll send you the link, James, so that you can put it up there as well. Nice. This is all taking place in Ontario, California, which is, I guess, so in Southern California, and 3 or 4. There you go. 3 or 4 major airports close by, and of course, the drivability as much as you can drive in California. The hotel has a discounted rate as the Holiday Inn. That's pretty much attached to the center.
Okay, the Holiday Inn is pretty much attached to the. Am I taking it at the Ontario Convention Center?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's right in the. It's right in the airport, right?
Well, it's like a stone's throw. You can look at from the airport as you're pulling in, you can see the convention center. So
Yeah.
Very,
So
very
it's like,
close.
yeah, it's like, and if you fly into LA, it's like an hour and 15 minutes from there to get to the.
but Ontario and John Wayne are not too far, and Anaheim is about the same distance, but I understand it's an uh, easier
Right.
trip.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of information there. So if you need to pause the show and write it all down, or I'll put as much as I can in the show notes, which, there you're going to have your agsc.org to register if you're not a member to come out and participate. And we welcome everyone to come out and participate in these meetings. This is not a closed kind of thing. We want you to come out. We want you to register, and that way you can be there, be counted, get your certifications. Which is there's new certifications coming out in 2025. Is that correct, guys?
Correct. We've got a CSR and the industry's first organized ADS certification. Very, very, very exciting.
Mhm.
So are we allowed to talk about that? Is that like an omerta type thing?
But we can definitely talk. We can definitely talk about it.
I was making a mafia reference, and I apologize because you said organization, like organized. You said organized, so yeah.
Well, the way he did the testing was he locked us 50 of us in a room. We wouldn't let us leave. No food or water for 45 minutes.
I was
until he
feeling
come
it.
up with questions.
I was feeling it.
I don't remember the water.
Until you see what we have planned for this year's meetings.
Well, I'm bringing my cookies
Oh.
with me.
Yeah, bring a snack for your blood sugar.
That's right. That's right.
They are really outstanding programs. I've been through them all too, with the questions and answers, etc. And what was particularly good is there are a fair amount of ADAS education out there right now, but nothing is specifically related to individuals who are installing glass and how that relates to ADAS. And this is so it's exciting.
Well, and the important part is both certifications aren't just made up off of a chat GP, right? They're made up from real industry professionals that are in the weeds every single day. So there's a lot of really, really fantastic questions, and I think people are going to walk away to have the knowledge to make their business successful. It's a very cool program and the first of many.
What
And
I
that's
like,
that's one of the committees. Not to interrupt, but
No,
that's
my
one
bad.
of the committees that when I first come on to the Auto Glass Safety Council was the Education Committee, and seeing the brains in that room and doing real world questions. I mean, like we see a lot in the chats about people, the technicians asking questions and getting their answers by that way. But being in the same room with people like that and be able to write questions, real time questions, for people like us that aren't educated but are educated with our hands, not with our brain, and be able to answer those questions was incredible.
Yeah, and the CSR one is something I know it's been in the planning for quite a while, but it's one of those certifications that I believe has been much needed in our industry for a long time because the CSR, I'm a technician. I've been a technician for a long time, and part of my job is customer service, but the first face of the customer to the company is the CSR. 9 times out of 10. And, a great CSR that's educated could sell a job without letting it walk out the door. So I think that having that certification is going to bring a little bit more pride and professionalism to that part of our companies that all auto glass needs. They need the CSR. And the ADAS, obviously, we know we need because that's the progression of the industry. So we know we've been needing that. I like how we're the only one that's specifically honing in on exactly what our technicians need. We're not giving a broad I guess, like a broad view of it. We're giving you the exact certification you need for your technicians to be technicians for auto glass. I like that. The broad view is kind of narrowed down. So, what's the next big event that we have coming up after the spring/winter meeting?
Well, just to pump the brakes. I think
Yeah.
the beauty of the direction the AGSC is heading is we listen, right? So for the last 4 or 5 years, it's calibration, and now we're listening, and the industry needs CSR training. So
Yeah.
moving forward, we're going to keep an ear to the industry and build what the industry needs. And that way, number one, it builds value for AGSC membership. And number two, it helps members build their business, and become successful, because it's not easy out there. I don't think there's ever been a more turbulent time to run a glass business than now, and to have an organization that will help guide you through that. I think that's a pretty big deal. So we're gonna try our best to be that lantern in the night to help you lead your company into the future.
Well said, sir. And that's why you're the El Presidente, because you could just speak so eloquently.
I don't know
Like
about
mine tongue-tied, it just sometimes my words don't come out. They kind of just get confused. You know how it goes. You've listened to me. You've
that.
shaken your head at me a lot.
Deb proofreads for me, so she knows that is not accurate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell this out of many a time.
I would mention two more things too that are just things that come across in the normal course of membership, right? For example, this month premieres a whole new safety talk. You know how lots of times you want and you want to get your guys together and have a different safety topic every week or every month. It's also good for your insurance and experience mods to keep the rates down. Well, our director of quality and safety, Jeff Alves, just developed a whole series of these. So they'll be released every few weeks until there's a whole course for the year. And boy, does that help if you don't have a safety director, which most people don't, or if you do and you're looking for additional work. In addition, we're just in the finishing throes of updating all of the training online. My car windshield broke, and Jeff came up from South Carolina, and Glass America was kind enough to let us use one of their bays for a week. And he and our video producer filmed an entire soup to nuts new course. So that's final stages too. These are things that don't get a lot of attention, but are really good for the members as well.
Well, let's highlight that a little bit. The insurance, everybody needs their business insurance to come down a little bit. Whether you have a safety director or not, you can actually, if you're an AGSC customer, what I'm getting from what you just said, you could actually use the safety topic a month to bring your insurance rates down in most cases, because you have a safety program that you're able to offer to your technicians, and it'll bring it down. That's nothing to just kind of skim over, guys. That's something that adds value to your business because it brings your insurance down, which reduces your bottom line. I mean, that's amazing. And then, we got Mr. Jeff Olive doing a training video. I mean, how much more do you want than that? I mean, like that should sell tickets itself. Like, oh, we need to set him up in an arena and we sell tickets and Jeff does an install.
It's a series. It's set up almost like old Free Linda or LinkedIn Learning, where you get a module, and then once you pass that module, you go on to the next one. So it's not quite as intimidating as sitting there for a couple of hours.
Which it makes it nice because, attention spans less, which I don't ever think it was great to begin with. We just forced ourselves to have attention because we didn't have nothing else to do. Now we got so many things to do. Our attention span's just like all over the place. So nice digestible sections, pass and work your way through it. That's great. I like that. Like highlight that as membership, like perk number 9,099, or whatever, however you want to market it. But I definitely think that's definitely a great feature to offer to the customers of the Auto Glass Safety Council. Now, I know I'm jumping ahead. We're pumping the brakes. We're talking about the winter show. This is great, but you guys don't understand how excited I am for September. Like, I'm really pushing.
You don't show it at all, James.
I'm telling you, like, I am pushing for as many people, especially now that we're on the West Coast, which, for many years, that's all I've heard is like, oh, it's East Coast, it's East Coast, it's East Coast, and a lot of the winners came from the West Coast, in previous years. But like, it's West Coast. I want to see so many people from the East Coast. I want to see this huge movement of people to the show, but technicians who are coming out to compete or whatever. So is there anything special boiling under the surface for this highlighted year of 2025 in the Auto Glass Week?
I think, sorry, Deb, but I think that the seminars that we're already talking about will be very exciting and beneficial for people. I think it's going to look like a completely different show. We're getting a lot of input from every corner of the industry, so I can't tell you how excited I am either. I think it's going to be a really big deal.
I mean, we got 20 and 25 here. 25
Right.
years of the standard, which is the only industry guiding document that exists. And it's so influential that other countries are borrowing from our, they want to be part of our standard or have our standard because it was set and it's so great and it's 25 years of it. That's amazing. Like,
Deb, is it okay to talk about? I'll let you do it, but what we put together for a kind of a history lesson on the standard.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Go right ahead, Jacques.
Deb's team is in the process of putting together what are we calling that, Deb? It's almost like a movie night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the word documentary because that makes you not want to go, but it's just a history of AGSC, and it was not necessarily an easy thing to get accomplished for a lot of reasons. So people get to see that, and we have a parade of champions. We're going to invite back every single first place winner from the past and do like a big parade, and they're each getting a surprise, which I don't want to mention yet.
yeah, please don't, because I want to be surprised. I'm just kidding.
Inaugurating that great idea you gave us, James, which is to provide a champion ring to the winners.
Nice. And just in case anybody's wondering, the pink jacket will make a return.
Nice.
It is making its return. I think I'm going to do it pretty much the same way as I did last year with the, all the logoing, as long as, the permission's still there to do all the logoing and everything. And somebody will walk out of there with the pink jacket. It just won't be me this time, or Jorge. I don't think Jorge's come back. He might be, but so I don't want to speak for him, but the pink jacket will be making a return. And let's talk about this. Is 20 years of the Autoglass Technician Olympics, and we have CSR Olympics, we have ADAS Olympics, we have Chip Repair Olympics, we have all these competitions. But for me, the bread and butter, the heart, is 20 years of the Technician Olympics. And man, if all the champions come back, and this is going to be like you guys saw me excited last year, it's going to be even worse this year.
Yeah.
I want to be turned up for sure, because I'm so excited for September because of this reason. It's a big show. Now, you said there's going to be some educational things on top of our normal educational things. And I know we offer a lot of seminars at these Autoglass weeks and everything. You're saying there's going to be bigger and better in 25?
I think so. Yeah. I think that, like I say, the input we've received from, again, every corner of the industry is driving a group of seminars that I think everybody will want to see, almost like a can't miss situation. And then some of the sidebar stuff that we're planning, I think it's going to be one for the books for sure. It'll be unlike any other Autoglass week.
Well, you've heard it here, folks. First, second, third, wherever you heard the information from. But please come up, show up. Even if you can only stay for one day, if you're just bringing your technicians for a day, you're going to benefit from the show. I mean, I've pushed this since I started back in 2019, really diving into it. You're going to get value for your money if you show up. Show up for the whole week, but show up for sure. Bring out competitors, bring yourself out, bring your technicians, get exposed to a part of the industry that not a lot of people get to see. You get into it, you get in your van, and next thing you know, you're hiring technicians and you really don't have that direction. Let's talk about value to the Autoglass Safety Council members shops, because I think a lot of it isn't public knowledge, because a lot of the shops that are part of our organization don't talk about it as much. So someone want to tackle some of the added benefits that might not be as noticeable on the surface?
Well, I think the biggest thing, from my technical jaded opinion, would be a lot of your competitors have an R&D budget, right? They have a whole technical side, throwing money into making a better mousetrap. We're in the AGSC for those smaller companies that can't afford an R&D division, right? Yeah, the AGSC can provide that for members, where it's giving them guidance and kind of a sneak peek on what's coming around the corner, what's going to help your business, what might make your business a little bit more challenging. So being that technical driving force in members' corner, I think is a really, really big deal and worth the price of admission just in that. And that's on top of all the educational programs, all the training events. We talked about Auto Glass Week, which is going to be a huge deal. I think from my perspective, probably the biggest show we've ever had. But there's more to it, right? You have all the educational events leading up to that. I think we're going to pleasantly surprise everybody out there with what we're building for those events as well. So it's going to be a jam-packed year with a ton of value for members. I'm excited.
Yeah. And with me, it's not just the education part, but it's the networking and the contact part of it. And a lot of these tools that I want to use, I can't physically touch on the internet. So I want to see them and look at them and be able to pick them up and talk about how it works and how it would benefit my business, specifically around my small business. And the connections like with Jock and you, James, and Deb, there's a whole realm of people that we run into in these just on the show floor. And we're able to say, hey, did this happen to you? Or have you had this experience? Or do you see this in your area? And to be able to talk about that and to understand it. Back in the day with us, it was the rust part of it, and the corrosion and how to treat it. And then it came the second airbag and how to work with that, learn the new materials so that we'd have safety, a safe installation without the airbag popping out if there was an accident. And now we're fast forward. Now we're getting into the technology side of it with the ADS, the automatic brake systems. Everything's tied together from bumper to bumper, and how to navigate that. And if we can't, if we can't do it physically ourselves in the shop, this gives us contact with fellow people that are in the Auto Glass Safety Council that say, hey, ABC Auto Glass, I know you do calibrations. If I do the windshield, will you calibrate it? And that gives us a whole another field that we can compete on and be able to do the business right and safely and follow the criteria of the Auto Glass Safety Standard.
And something you're going to hear a lot about is future-proofing your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the AGSC will be at the forefront of that, giving our members the tools they need to future-proof their business and move into the what's coming next in auto glass. Our reason for being is to keep you ahead of your competitors, and I'm excited for everybody to see what we've been working on.
Well, it sounds like there is a lot of benefit to joining, but one of the biggest things that we're seeing in our industry right now is people want that marketing, how to guide business to their shop. And is there a way with the AGSC that they can accomplish that if they're a member?
Absolutely. Marketing tools, being able to use, Deb touched on it a little bit earlier, helping out insurance providers with CE courses to help bring what the AGSC does out in the forefront and why it's important to choose an AGSC shop. So yeah, we'll be working on a whole slew of marketing material for our members.
Yeah, the biggest thing in our area is the CEUs for the agents, the independent agents, because in the Northeast region, we still have a lot of independent agents that go through that need that criteria to keep up their certifications. And the CEU courses that are offered through the Auto Glass Safety Council, they're going to be offered through the Auto Glass Safety Council, will help them achieve that.
So you're going to provide the actual education to the insurance companies that they've been lacking, from my understanding, what I'm getting of this, and it'll highlight the shops that are doing the job correctly and putting safe vehicles on the road. Because at the end of the day, the main objective of the Auto Glass Safety Council, if I'm speaking out of turn, please let me know, is the safety of the customer, the safety of the person driving that vehicle. And that's, we have safety in our name for a reason. If we advertise it to the insurance companies, and then they can help the consumer make a more educated decision. Is that what I'm getting from that?
Absolutely. That's our main goal, our main focus. And what you'll see a lot of this coming year is a lot of eliminating the gray. I think since the early 90s, our industry has been somewhat drowning in gray, where
Mhm.
there's arguments every day in the groups, in between exchanges between local companies, where there's gray. This was the right way, this is the wrong way. So one of our main points of focus this year will be to eliminate the gray, highlight what's right, what's wrong, and how to make that happen for your business. In essence, get rid of the myth. Um, Similar to Mythbusters, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess the myth needs to be pushed a little bit more in the public eye. Is the Auto Glass Safety Council, are we doing anything to bring it more to the public eye? Because, they go to Joe's Auto Glass and he says, I don't unplug the camera. I set the glass right back in where it needed to be. And, calibrations are a scam. They're just taking your money. Well, then that trickles down to the ball field where, the local agent's sitting and they're like, wait, we just paid how much money to have a windshield calibrated and I'm hearing it's a scam. What is the Auto Glass Safety Council doing to bring that to, the public's knowledge?
We've got some pretty exciting marketing material coming out, little printable postcards or digital version with QR codes walking the consumers and insurance providers through the importance of calibration, why we have to do it, why it's important, why it's critical, and why it needs to happen. And that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as education, right? And those same videos, those same educational bits can be used by members, right? Like in our shop in particular, we put the videos on QR codes to where our customers can scan the QR codes, watch those videos, and educate them. So helping members find new ways to market the importance of safety and why things like calibration need to happen.
And
Okay.
that's where we have to educate the smaller businesses, those small ones that say that it doesn't hurt them just not to unplug it and that's it. And the reason why they're saying that is because they don't know where to get the car calibrated. They don't have a connection to get the car calibrated. So we have to show them that there are connections that we could give them to get it done, whether it's a AGSC registered shop or how they can connect to the dealer to get it done, or how they can get an independent to come into their shop to do it for them. So we have to show them those tools to get it done. And as far as the education side of it and the safety side of it, we're seeing it every day on our sports channels. The commercials are coming at us. The replacement repair, recalibration side of it. We're seeing that.
Mhm.
So the customer is aware. They are seeing that. They're asking those questions when they're setting up their appointments. So we have to make sure that we have the same tools and show them we have the same education. And that's up to the Auto Glass Safety Council to give them the opportunity to get that done. And I think this 2025, you're going to see a lot more of that.
And
Yeah, because
I don't want to spoil any surprises, but on top of the videos of Jeff's install, step-by-step install, you'll also see some other training material rolled out to, in essence, simplify what a proper install should look like, what a dynamic calibration should look like, what a static calibration should look like. And then educational programs. I, for one, have the morbid hobby of reading every single comment, listening to every single gripe in essence or compliment. And so I'm using all of those. I take a lot of notes. I'm using all of those to help the AGSC build training material to answer those questions. The one that I'm working on right now is explaining when it's okay to glue down a molding, when it's not okay to glue down a molding. Little stuff like that will help members, most importantly, provide the safest possible glass replacement, but to educate shops, because you've got some larger companies that have a very, very big budget to educate their technicians, and to help push them further down the road. And that's kind of what they market off of, right? Our technicians are smarter because of X. AGSC members will be able to have that secret weapon, like, we're just as smart, right? And
Exactly.
in some cases, maybe even smarter. So providing our members with the for lack of a better way of saying it, some ammunition, some guidance, some future proofing to build a better mousetrap, to market their business on having top-notch technicians, trained, competent technicians that do a neat, clean, and organized installation every time, and one that's completely safe, one that you would trust your teenager driving away in as they text on the phone, right? Which they shouldn't do, but providing the best possible replacement you can get, and having that education at your fingertips as a member makes you just as powerful, if not more powerful, than your competitors. It's a big deal. I'm excited.
What I'm hearing here is there's a list of, like, say I'm an owner and I'm wanting to become part of the AGSC, and my technicians are trained via me through OJT, and then they can get their technical training walked through the Auto Glass Safety Council.
Well, through Jeff's videos, and then through I won't. Deb hasn't really seen the first one yet, but I don't want to spoil the. But through a format that we've used a little bit before, I have a list of 50 from 2024 gripes or areas of opportunity, we'll call them, from hearing technicians, owners, that I'm going to build shorts. Right, humans have a short attention span, 2 to 3 minutes. So a 2 to 3 minute short to help companies and technicians solve those problems will be coming from the AGSC this year.
And there is a list of accredited training programs that they can obtain through the Auto Glass Safety Council if they want to send their technician, or if their technician wanting to get in the industry, to start, and then can continue that education through the Auto Glass Safety Council. Is that true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's ever been a point in our industry where there's been so many outlets for high quality training.
I think it's great.
These are exciting times.
That's another thing I think people don't even realize, is that the companies that provide training, that are registered training programs, they have basically provided their training to a committee at AGSC to just make sure it complies with the standard and make sure it does meet the AGSC requirements. And then if that's the case, they get that logo that says a registered training program. And they are also able to provide, as part of their training, the ability to take the AGSC certification test with that. So you can get training through those companies. You can get training, on video through AGSC as a member at no charge. You can get training at the live events, including Ontario, the one in San Antonio in May, another one in New Jersey in November, and of course at Auto Glass Week. So there's a lot of different ways to obtain training without having to break the bank.
Yeah, the accredited training programs is, if you're a owner or you're someone on the fence whether you want to get into the industry or not, or go seek training, make sure you do it through a accredited training program through the Auto Glass Safety Council, because it's where the standard lives. And it, like I said before, our standards being borrowed from many parts of the world to set a standard. So I think that if you get it from the source, you're going to be ahead of the game. But let's touch on the fact that there's no other organization in our industry like the Auto Glass Safety Council. There's nothing else like it, and the value that it brings to the industry with all these outlets, and it just keeps going forward. So I'm very excited for the future because of that. I mean, is there anything that you guys would like to add to that? Am I forgetting anything with the Auto Glass Safety Council being the only one?
Well, I think we can't. That going through that process of getting your training program, a registered training program approved by the Auto Glass Safety Council, is not an easy feat. It's very, very difficult. Before, when I was first getting to know the AGSC, I registered, I think, 3 or 4 of my training programs, and it was heartbreaking. They kicked them back multiple times. I'm like, what? It's not good enough?
Wait a second. You're just telling me? You telling me? Like it's an ego hurt, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I learned so much from the process that I kind of fell in love with it, and it made me more engaged with the process. And It's cool because what a lot of people don't think about is a lot of the larger companies that are out there that they create their training programs and they're approved internally. So that's like just anybody on the street. Yep, I've got a training program. Let's go for it. It cannot be understated how I don't want to discourage anybody, but if you're putting your training program forth to be AGSC registered, it's a brutal
Yeah.
it's a brutal process and
Well,
somewhat heartbreaking. Makes you analyze your life. What, that doesn't make sense to you?
yeah.
So you come out with a really, really nice refined training program.
Well, it reminds me of when people kind of cut down a little bit of, I hate to keep going back to this, but the Tech Olympics is like, oh, well, it's not real world. It's not real world. And the training is this. We want the best. It's as simple as that. If you're going to put your training program up, it's going to have to meet certain requirements to be the best because we want the best. We want the best technicians. And the same thing with the competitions. We want the best. So is it exact real world? A guy pulls up in a van, it's 125 degrees out, and he's trying to get done as quick as possible? No. But we don't want that guy. We want the guy that's going to show that he's a professional or female. We want the person. Sorry, I don't mean to exclude anybody there because I am a huge, inclusive person. But like, um, we want the best. And then same thing from our training programs. And that can't be understated. Like, it's not discouraging. If it gets kicked back to you, it's because we want the best. We want you to try.
You being a past competitor, with a couple hundred eyes looking at you, you may as well be on a 100 degree piece of pavement, right?
Oh yeah, no. It's first off, like I've said on the show before, and I'll say it again here. Like, I was proud of my accomplishment in 23, but becoming a judge in 24, I was really proud of what I did when I seen how meticulous everything was and how much was caught. And then the arena of, like you said, a few hundred people scrutinizing what you do, and you can't block that out. You just can't. I mean, you could say, whatever you want, but that performance anxiety starts to, and it takes a couple times of doing it before you're comfortable. I will never say I was ever comfortable, but I think the last 2 years I was the most myself that I'd ever been at the competition, which is weird because I missed the finals and then, won. But the first 2 years I was trying to be everything that I thought everybody wanted, and I wasn't myself. But the last 2 years I was myself, and it's hard. It's so much harder than what you think it would be. You think, oh, I'm the best. So, everybody believes they're the best. It's our egos, but that's what we're trying to do at the Auto Glass Safety Council is we want the best. We want the best technician. We want the best CSR. We want the best calibration. We want the best repair tech, and we want the best training programs. I mean, that's why we hold everything to such a high standard. So please, if you have a training program, do not submit it for the fear of rejection, but just understand that the reason why we want to send it back if we do is because we want the best. And we want to make sure that we're putting our name behind something we believe in.
Absolutely. And you're stepping away with the best product out there and something that's unlike most industries, right? Because it's looked at by very scrutinous eyes. So you've got a really, really nice product, and you've got something that you can stand on and something that you can be proud of when you're trying to get that body shop account or when you're trying to present yourself to an insurance agency. Look, this is what we've got going. We don't just self-certify. We've got this going. We're audited once a year. Really, really, we talked about marketing earlier. What a great way to market your business, letting your customers know that you put your business out there to be audited and looked at, and have an outside party look at your business and let you know, yes, you're doing it in accordance with our standard. Yes, you're doing it the best you can.
We had a member a number of years ago who had for many years had the contract for state vehicles, all of their particular states, vehicles, highway, etc. And they lost the contract after many years to a very large chain. And that member was able to go in to the people who make the decisions about such things and say, my prices might be a little higher, So if you're just going on dollar value, then I understand your decision. But I'm a member of AGSC, and this is what all that means. And explain the training, explain the certification, explain the audits and all things like that. And the state actually pulled the contract back from the new company they had awarded it to and sent it back over to the member. So it's got a lot of power there. It's got a lot of power if you get in trouble. Hopefully nobody does, but in the courts, you know, I had to keep your car until it cured, and you're suing me because I had charges. Well, you know, that gets explained to a judge in accordance with the standard. True story. Judge understood. There's just a lot of tentacles in different areas where AGSC membership makes a difference.
And that's never been more important than now with the incorporation of all the safety features being put into vehicles. So it's there's never been a better time to be an AGSC member.
And
Yeah.
the new businesses that are joining, when they talk about the audit, they're a little bit scared about it. But when I got accredited, I had an audit in my shop, and I failed the first time. And I found out it was because of the materials that I was using from our urethane manufacturer were outdated. And they were able to get the urethane manufacturer to update his product so that my training was updated. And 2 weeks later, they came back in and re-audited, and I passed. But I would have never known that was outdated unless I got the audit happened.
100%. There's a lot of perks. There's a lot of benefits, and so we're at the half-hour mark. I promised you guys I'd keep it because everybody's super busy, and you're out there trying to make everybody's businesses better. So let's hit some closing remarks, and we'll start with you, Jacques, and proceed down the line.
I really, really look forward to seeing everybody in California next month. We're going to have an exciting meeting, a lot to talk about in Peter's committee, and a lot of cool new stuff that we're going to be able to show members and people that are on the fence that are thinking about becoming members. So it should be a great event. And then I look forward to the rest of the year. Should be a surprising year for everybody out there.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to working with you, James, on the standards committee. That's going to be where our 25th year, so hopefully we don't screw it up. But I'm so looking forward to the room. And Bob Bernanke left us in an unbelievable spot. So he was one of the founding players of the auto glass safety standard itself, and hopefully I can fill his shoes. And one of the biggest things too is Patricia Smiley from Quack Glass is going to be our marketing chair, and he's going to be amazing. I mean, he's going to bring in life that we haven't seen in a long time. And between Deb and Jacques and hopefully James, on the marketing side of it, you can give us some ideas. I'm looking forward to next year.
And I'll just say that most people don't realize, in addition to some of the things AGSC does, how affordable it is. If you're a smaller company, as long as you agree to say you're a member on your marketing materials, your dues are $300 a year. And that includes 3 certifications. And certifications for non-members are $179. So if you're certifying 2 people, you've kind of hit it, you know. AGSC is dedicated to safety. Our members do it properly, and our job is to drive business to those members.
Awesome. Hey, I just seen that. Did we have a guest drop right there? Did we have hey, Mr. Drift Chris, how you doing, brother?
How you doing? How's it going?
I'm taking a picture because I got to see this. I want that jacket.
I'm telling you.
That jacket's amazing.
You showed up?
Didn't I just see you last night, Drift?
Yes, we were.
So, not to put you on the spot, but is there anything you want to say concerning the Auto Glass Safety Council in 2025?
Join. Everybody needs to join.
There you go. You heard it from one of the most influential players in the auto glass industry. So, and then my closing remarks is just, I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to join my show and keep promoting my show. And I want 2025 to be the biggest year for Put 'em on the Glass podcast as well. So I'm going to try to incorporate a lot of new techniques, and we'll see what happens. But thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you. Bye. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good. How are you?